Steam Workshop, Valve's hub for community mods and add-ons, is being used to smuggle malware onto people's PCs through Wallpaper Engine, the app that lets users run animated and custom wallpapers on their desktop. It's a devastating blow to the fellas who have to tell their dad that the rent money is gone because they trusted a file called catgirl_waifu_4K. I'm Riley Murdoch, this is TechLinked, and security researchers at Kaspersky found dozens of these poisoned wallpaper packages, with some even being downloaded tens of thousands of times. The flaw works because Wallpaper Engine lets a wallpaper be an executable program. It seems like it's running normally, but in the background, it sneaks in a back door, finds your Steam login, steals your active session, and sends it to the hackers. Then they use your account to upload more infected wallpapers in a toxic cycle of waifu manipulation. Through this feature, attackers have pushed just about every kind of malware out there, from info stealers, backdoors, crypto miners, and botnet loaders. They're targeting society's most vulnerable members. Weebs hunting for wallpapers of anime women with huge bazongas. In the arms of an angel. It's sad, but when it comes to anime women, these poor weebs have the survival instinct of a sea turtle mistaking a plastic bag for a tasty jellyfish. They need your help. OpenAI's ChatGPT has lost majority market share in the AI assistant space for the first time, falling to 46.4% by the end of May, according to analytics firm Sensor Tower. It's still the clear market leader with over 1.1 billion monthly users, but Gemini has climbed to second place at 27.7%, mostly thanks to Google baking the feature into everything they sell, whether you want it there or not.
Sounds like cinnamon rolls.
The timing is rough. Leaked documents from the Financial Times show OpenAI lost nearly $21 billion last year on just $13 billion in revenue, which raises the question of whether it filed its IPO as an AI company or an enterprise-level cash incinerator. But shockingly, this didn't hurt its standing at the G7 this week, where CEO and orb aficionado Sam Altman got a love tap on the leg from US President Donald Trump and pitched world leaders on who should write the global rules for AI. Getting outed for a $21 billion loss, losing your majority in the same week, and still getting a seat at the grown-ups table? Better than having your AI eat you. Snap, the company behind Snapchat, just finally revealed their fully standalone Specs AR glasses, and they've opened pre-orders for a fall release. Weighing 132 grams, they're heavier than normal glasses and chunkier, but lighter than the dumpster you'll need to store your dignity in after spending more than $2,000 on them. Unlike Meta's Ray-Ban display that only gives you a stationary screen on the lens of the glasses, these Specs will overlay elements on real-world objects that stay in place as you move your head around like a VR headset. It apparently has real-time navigation for the directionally hopeless crowd, a floating adjustable browser, live translation, and will answer spatial questions you ask, like, where does the coolant go in this car? Or where did my dad go when he left for the convenience store 15 years ago and never came back? Would you like to find him again? Yes. Turn right. The Specs come with 2 Qualcomm chips, a 51-degree field of view, in-house liquid crystal on silicon display, and auto-tinting lenses that change states in 10 seconds. Now, Snap decided against revealing the chipset name or the screen resolution, which is a bit awkward because a spec sheet is pretty much the one thing you'd expect from something called Specs. But hey, you know what? We're not gonna worry about that. We're gonna get so many more details from our sponsor, OpManager Nexus. Here at LMG, career lateral moves are common, and I've changed it up to become a manager with our IT team. I'll tell you, off the jump, I was just fed up with bouncing between dashboards. Thankfully, Manage Engine's OpManager Nexus came along. It helps you monitor everything in one place, your network, infrastructure, applications, user experience, and more, all in a single unified view, which matters when you're into IT like me. The platform works with the tools you already use, and it's easy to set up. Plus, AI-driven event correlation helps your team troubleshoot faster, whether you deploy in the cloud or on-prem. On-prem. That's the kind of language I use now that I'm an IT guy. OpManager Nexus. Stop guessing and start knowing with full stack visibility. And we're talking the whole stack. Link in the description. I gotta go. I got some tech problems to solve. 1 second. I mean, you can see you later. At the quantum level, particles pop in and out of existence for no reason, and these quick bits are the same, except they only do it because I'm here to observe them. When I look away, it's wild. Microsoft unveiled the new Surface Pro and Surface laptop models powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon X2 chips this week, promising up to 58% faster graphics and a returning OLED option on the Pro. The catch is the price. The laptop starts at $1,600, nearly double the old one's $900, and the Surface Pro starts at $1,500. But they look a lot like Apple's $600 MacBook Neo. So for one Surface laptop, you could buy 2 Neos and pocket $400 for iTunes songs. I don't. Samsung is cutting product testing for phones and TVs from 15 days to 2, replacing physical torture tests with AI digital twin simulations as part of its 2030 autonomous factory push. They were reportedly bullied by Jensen into doing this. So instead of dropping a real TV for 2 weeks or chucking a phone 700 times, Samsung will just simulate the carnage, which frankly is a betrayal. I bought a Samsung so a guy in a lab coat would keep dropping my TV over and over. Now they're just imagining it? Cowards. Commodore has slapped its name on a random thing once again, this time teaming up with Finnish software firm Jala on a $500 Linux-based flip phone called the Callback 8020 that hard blocks browsers and social media for a forced digital detox while still running 99% of Android apps. Finally, I can get a flip phone to go with my Commodore filing cabinet, espresso machine, Bluetooth earpiece, and my 1990s MIDI keyboard. Thank you, Commodore, for making all of these things. Sandisk unveiled the Optimus GX Pro, an officially licensed PS5 SSD lineup, topping out at 8 terabytes. The 1 terabyte drive starts at $380, 2 terabytes will cost you $760, and the 8 terabyte comes in at nearly $3,000, which Sandisk insists is a discount from $3,700. Only a year ago, a near identical 8 terabyte Sandisk drive cost around $640, so it's only gone up roughly 370%. It sounds more normal when you say it like that. Or in console math, you could buy 4 PS5 Pros and still have cash left for a game or a lot of iTunes songs. And Nvidia's Gear Lab showed off Empire, a framework where AI coding agents teach robots to do delicate physical tasks completely on their own, like slotting a GPU into a motherboard with 0 human help. The paper claims to have hit a 99% success rate on challenging tasks requiring manual manipulation, like pushing the letter T, cutting zip ties, tying zip ties, and pin insertion, all running fully autonomously on real robots. So let me get this straight. Nvidia built a step-by-step framework for mastering manual manipulation with 0 human involvement. Sounds like my ex-girlfriend. And sounds like you're gonna definitely be back here on Friday for more tech news. Everyone's talking about it. Or, you know what? Don't show up. Quantum mechanics says, I'm only here when you observe me anyway. So I'll just exist in a liminal state or not exist. Bye.